Raymond Arroyo is here, Fox News contributor and author of the new children's book, The Unexpected Life of Thomas Alva Edison. Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm delighted to be here.
Good to have you here. Okay, so just bottom line, is this a good bill? I mean, parents are worried.
It's a great bill. It's not going to go anywhere because it'll die in the Senate. But I don't understand why curriculum is suddenly contraband that parents can't have access to. There is a little problem I have with the bill. You can't expect the school to give you a list, a running list of every book in the library. That is unfeasible. I mean, you're getting new books all the time. But should there be a group of parents reviewing books, vetting whether they're age appropriate? That's perfectly fine. But the very idea that that parents are the enemy of education or shouldn't have access to this information is ridiculous. If Biden would keep fentanyl as under wraps as he is curriculum, we'd be in much better shape in this country.
This is a huge issue in this country right now.
Bet.
Parents want more involvement. They want to see what's happening in their kids' classrooms.
It's critical that they have that. That's their first role as a parent, to shape, educate, and nurture that child.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, a new report from the House Subcommittee on Government Weaponization says this: the administration goal seems to have been silencing the critics of its radical education policies. The Biden administration colluded with the NSBA to create a justification to use federal law enforcement and counterterrorism resources against parents. What could go wrong?
Well, here we go again. Again, the National School Board Association, in collusion, it spoke to the White House, then had a conversation with DOJ and sent a memo targeting outspoken and unruly parents because they claimed they were targeting school board members. No, they were raising questions about curriculum and approach to their child's education. Sandra, we pay for this. Whether, you know, we are the people that they're responsible to. That curriculum, what's in the library, should be all of our responsibility. Yes, talking with teachers, but you shouldn't target parents when they're interested in their child's welfare. Look, the Edison book I wrote, it's all about a mother who got engaged when the school threw the kid out. He only became the greatest inventor of all time. How? She took care and responsibility of that child. We all have to do that.
Transparency would be everyone's goal, on the left, the right. This is a GOP report, obviously, that Biden colluded to make this happen, to silence and not let parents in on the curriculum.
Merrick Garland set up a task force. I mean, so we have the evidence of the chain of events. It's scary.
Do you believe that everything changed with COVID? That's when parents they saw this happening at home. They were looking over their kids' shoulders, and they were privy to what was exactly was
for the first time, parents were watching and accompanying their children in a way they hadn't before, reading what they were reading, seeing the core study. I think it startled a lot of them. That's why Governor Youngkin swept and won, surprisingly, in Virginia. It has now become a national issue. Parents are watching, and the government has to allow them to have their voice and have their say. Bureaucrats should not be running our education for our children.
Meanwhile, Raymond, critics again mocking Vice President Kamala Harris after she whipped up yet another word salad, this time at an event marking Women's History Month. Watch this.
So during Women's History Month, we celebrate and we honor the women who made history throughout history, who saw what could be unburdened by what had been.
Oh, the reaction on Twitter. Brutal one person tweeting, "Throughout history is considered by some of the best time to make history." Another says, "Absolute cringe." It is not the VP's first rodeo with this.
Need to get to go and need to be able to get where you need to go. I do believe that we should have rightly believed, but we certainly believe that certain issues are just settled. And that's why I do believe that we are living in real unsettled times. The significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time.
Oh, that's an oldie but a goodie. All of this comes on the heels of more dismal polling for the vice president. The latest Monmouth poll showing the majority of Americans, 53%, disapprove of the job that she is doing, only 36% approve. It is tough to watch this at times, but my question is, so much of what we just played there, she had a teleprompter in front of her.
Well,
this was a written
that's what's
speech.
Scary. Well, you know, my first instinct was to try to cut her a break and say, well, it's a written speech, but whether extempore or a written speech, if there's a word salad, you can bet Kamala Harris will be in the kitchen making it. It's like a record. It's like a record stylus is caught in a groove. She repeats the same idea, and it bespeaks something in that head that can't get past one concept to move on to the next, and it's eroding obviously her favorability and confidence that she could ever occupy the Oval Office. Democrats have to be panicking when this is the successor to Joe Biden.
It's tough. It's tough. And so much of that happens when she has to wing it in those interviews, and she doesn't even offer up that many interviews. So you'd think that she would practice, get it down, rehearse.
Sandra, is there a Venn diagram for repetitive thought?
Right, the Venn diagrams.
Maybe we could put that up on the screen somewhere.
Somehow we left that out of the montage, Raymond. Okay, also, I want to get your take on the TikTok hearing. It's happening on Capitol Hill right now. We've seen some fiery back and forth in that room where Republicans and Democrats, lawmakers are pressing the TikTok CEO for what exactly China is getting access to as far as Americans' information that is shared on this app. And of course, also big questions over the influence TikTok is having on America's youth.
Well, you nailed it. It is an addictive app. When kids watch it, they want to watch more. When old people watch it, they want to watch more. It's created that way. 150 million Americans are on this app. Here's the problem. As you heard Chairman Rogers say at the top of this hearing, this is a spy app. That's what she believes. That's the charge. But when you have Democrats and Republicans of one mind that this is a device in your home tracking your emails, your phones, record to your location, when that sort of information and data is available to potentially a foreign adversary, it needs to be checked. Maybe banning is the way to go. And a Democratic congresswoman made the great point. The CEO says China has no control over TikTok. But China has opposed the sale of TikTok to an American company, claiming this is intellectual property that belongs to China. They clearly have some hooks into this company that needs to be discovered and maybe broken up.
It's a really good point. How would you characterize Chu's performance so far on the Hill?
Look, he seemed
I'll just say, I think he sounds very defensive.
Yeah, very defensive, kind of aggressive, evasive. You know, the company that owns TikTok is ByteDance. He was doing his own little dance with a bite. I don't think anybody's buying it. And it's clear if you listen closely, he doesn't want to talk about where the money's coming from. He doesn't want to talk about foreign actors who control the company or have coached him or led him before this testimony. That all is very troubling. Congress has to get to the bottom of this.
A remarkable first exchange in that room, though, when the Republican lawmaker pressed him on the company spying. And I think he interrupted and said, at first I would disagree with that characterization.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay. Really important stuff, though. I mean, when you think about our nation's youth glued to that TikTok app, and the influence it's having.
Well, during this Edison book, I realized that time he spent on problems, that allowed all these great creations. We may never see that again because our kids are hooked on TikTok.
Or unless the parents have the right to rip that out of their hands and not have them on there.
Parents have to get them off these apps and let them
so many
play.
more parents are doing that today, thankfully.
I agree.
Raymond, great to have you here.
Great to be with you.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.